Okay, we're back from our road trip in Turkey, and it seems you guys have got a lot of questions. How does it compare to Morocco? How did we feel at Turkey? Did we feel safe? How did we do our route there? Who insured us? How did we get insurance sorted for Turkey? And would we go back again? But the number one question you've been asking is, how is Eddie? Well, we're going to answer all these questions and more in this video.
We've been back a few weeks now. Harry and George are back at school, and Eddie has had his follow-up appointment, his follow-up surgery, and he is absolutely fine now. He should be going back to work next week and earning as much money as possible so he can start funding his pilot training.
Right. First off, I want to put you straight about last week's video that we did at the caravan salon. We are not changing our van anytime soon. It was just an exercise that, what is there out there that's maybe more capable? What could our next van be?
The current situation while we're travelling as a group of 5, this van is perfect for Europe.
It is, but I'm sure as you saw in last week's video, the kind of thinking that we were going about maybe what could be our next van. So we no plans on selling this van and changing it anytime soon.
He said thinking, I was dreaming. Dreaming of the future.
But we do have plans on buying a new van in a new continent, but there'll be more about that towards the end of the video. We do post up-to-date stuff on Facebook and Instagram, so if you're not following us on there, I recommend I'll leave a link to them in the description.
And we've actually got a Facebook group called Roman Radford Only Fans, and they might get the odd little exclusive.
Yes, so maybe head over there and join that group. And we were very grateful to meet everyone at the NEC last week. Thank you to everyone that came to say hi. You made us feel like superstars, so thanks so much for that.
And that actually some of the conversations we had there last week have led us on to the questions that we're going to answer today.
So why Turkey? Why did we choose Turkey?
We've always wanted to go to Turkey.
Right. And it was highly recommended after we went to Morocco last year. If you guys like Morocco, you must try Turkey. And it was our first time there, and we loved it.
There's also a bit of a bragging right as well. Last year, Steve got to drive to the Sahara in Africa.
Right.
By going to Morocco. So this year, we drove to Asia and Turkey.
Exactly. So I've driven this van to 3 continents now. I've driven it on. How's that?
So far. With Turkey being so far away and us only travelling during school holidays because our kids do go to school, it was really important that Steve set off 3 weeks ahead of us.
Right.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to squeeze everything in without just driving and seeing nothing.
Right. To just drive down there, do Turkey and drive back in the 6 weeks summer holiday would have been too much, even for myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't have enjoyed that.
No, exactly. So all the videos that you saw, except the first 3 weeks of me and Eddie getting down there, were shot during the school holidays. So the route we took, I put Cappadocia in as the end place we wanted to get to in Turkey. And then I looked at some of the cities it was going to take me past on the way down, and then decided, why don't we then just tweak the route a little bit and stop off at some of the cities along the way. So that's why we chose the route and the cities that we did. Lindsay weren't with us for the first 3 weeks of travel, but let me run you through some of them. First of all, Amsterdam, somewhere close to my heart. I've been many, many times in my younger days, and I wanted to take Eddie there. That was our first stop. Interesting one of Amsterdam, we did walk our legs off there. That was the only place that Eddie was asked ID in every single bar. At no other city along the way down was he asked for ID. That's an interesting fact. And of course, Lindsay was unfortunate to be in an accident on the M1 just 24 hours after I left in the car. Just want to let you know the car's back. That's all fixed now. Okay, next stop was the Nürburgring. Now, I wanted to take the motorhome around the Nürburgring, but it probably wasn't a good idea to be doing that at the start of a 9.5 week road trip, was it? Fortunately, it was raining and I didn't get the opportunity to do it, so that's probably a good thing that I didn't do that. We watched a little bit of racing around the Nürburgring, and then we used the time to drive. It's always good to drive during the rain, I think. Use that time for driving, getting further down. We wanted to go to Prague, but it was a heck of a way from the Nürburgring to Prague, so Eddie said, can we stop off at Nuremberg along the way? And we did. We found a Stellplatz right by the Nazi rally grounds. Took a little wander there and then carried on our way to Prague next. And Prague was the number 1 city. Eddie said that he would definitely go back with his mates too. So yes, and we found €5 for 3 beers at Prague, so very good value. And we stayed at the campsite just along the river, the same one that we stayed at when we were there. And I will say that travelling on public transport in Prague is really, really cheap. It's just over €1 for each journey you do.
Even if you're going the wrong direction.
Well, that would have been good if we'd got on the right tram. So next stop was Bratislava. We did stop, we did have a few beers. I know a few of you give us grief in the comments. We were drinking too much. But you know what? I was on holiday with me boy. So, and we were watching the football as well. The football was on at the time, wasn't it? So we was always finding a bar to stop, have a drink, watch the football in. Next stop was Hungary, and we chose to stay at Budapest. Now, we've been to Budapest before, and in fact, we've stayed at that very same campsite that me and Eddie went to in Budapest. And then it was on to Romania. Now, Clarkson said the Transvan Garrison was the best driving road in the world, and I wanted to find out if that was true. I've driven many of the Alpine routes, and we managed to drive the Transvan Garrison, which was amazing. I've got to say, it's as good as Clarkson said. It is probably one of the best driving roads I've ever done, and we saw many, many bears on there as well. Just at the side of the road, we probably saw 7 or 8 bears. Fantastic. Wow. Just wow. We've arrived in Bucharest and we checked into the only campsite in Bucharest. Buy one, get one free. 16 lei. How much is that a beer, Ed?
It's worked out at £1.32 a beer.
Then it was on to Bulgaria, and we went to Sofia, which I believe is the capital city of Bulgaria, and we stayed at a central location right by the stadium there. And again, they had a pop-up bar on, and we went to watch the football. And then we went on to Greece, and we slowed the pace down a little bit. We found a campsite to start off with, enjoyed swimming in the sea, eating at the restaurant, and we did 2 days there, and then we did a couple of days wild camping at the beach. And it was a lovely, lovely place. I definitely want to take Lindsay back there. There's lots of little bars and restaurants all down the way. Don't forget, guys, there will be links in the description here, and our map on our website has got links to all these places, and it's completely free. And of course, we had the border crossing. That video did really well, in fact. Attacked by an angry mob at the border. I wonder why that title did so well. In hindsight, I wouldn't take that route down the centre again that the policeman told me to do. However, everything's good in hindsight. But we got into Turkey. Now, the whole idea next was that we was going to make it to Istanbul. Me and Ed was going to spend a couple of days in Istanbul, which we did. And then Ed was going to catch a flight out to Hong Kong and meet up with his girlfriend there in Hong Kong. And Lindsay and the other 2 boys were going to fly into Istanbul, and I was going to scoop them up. We were going to do a month round there. But it didn't quite go to plan, did it?
No, it was Microsoft Update Day. So my flights on the Friday evening were cancelled, and then so were the next flights for the next day. And it wasn't until the Monday that I was able to fly. And I didn't go into Istanbul. I actually flew with the boys into Izmir, which is further down the coast.
Right. I said, look, we're going to go anti-clockwise around. You can't get flights into Istanbul so easy. You certainly can't get a flight till Monday. Why don't I make that 5-hour drive to Izmir, and I'll scoop you up there? Which is what we did. But I had to keep myself busy for the weekend, of course, didn't I? And I managed to find a great stop right on the beachfront there, at a pub, at a bar, and I mixed with the locals, drunk raki, and had a fantastic time with the boys that weekend. I really did. Making new friends. The Turkish hospitality is fantastic. Then I scooped up Lindsay and the boys from the airport, and we literally put the cameras down and enjoyed 24 hours together again, because we'd been apart for over 3 weeks, the longest we'd ever been apart. And we found a park up on the beach, and it was just wonderful, wasn't it?
It was absolutely fantastic. It was very calm after what had been the best part of a month of upheaval, really, I think it was.
We was going to do things like Ephesus, but that was really, really expensive, isn't it? And there was other things we were going to do as well. And we decided, you know what, we've only got a certain amount of time in Turkey. So we struggled all the way down the west coast to find suitable park-ups. There were plenty of campsites that were more suitable for tent camping and not to get our big 9-meter motorhome on. And there's many all-inclusive resorts, as Lindsay was saying, down there. But yeah, not really 4 big motorhomes down that west coast. We also had messages from you that you guys did wild camping in Turkey, but not in the heat of the summer. Yeah, we would like to do wild camping as well, but we also like to have our aircon on at night, which is why we wanted a campsite with electricity. We then struggled and carried on our way round, and we found a perfect campsite just a little bit inland with a pool. It was brand new, and we spent a couple of days there. That was wonderful, and we had our first taste of Turkish breakfast.
We probably wouldn't have considered staying there because we were really focused on finding really lovely campsites by the coast. But because we were struggling, we did look inland a little bit on the maps and on Park for Night, and that's when we found it. So that was a lucky one. It
was. What we do is we filter by facilities, and then we try and choose outdoor pool, and that helps us find these campsites with pools. Park for Night was our saviour on this trip, I must say. We had news that Eddie was taken into hospital in Hong Kong, and we turned up at Gary and Emma's villa. Now, we met Gary and Emma at the Van Life Festival just earlier this year, and when we said we were going to Turkey, they said, well, we've got a villa out there. You're more than welcome to come and stay. And we got on really well with them. So we said, you know what, this is great, especially as Eddie was taken into hospital. So we literally relaxed there for 4 days and had a fantastic time, didn't we?
Relaxed. I had the most stressful 4 days in forever, but it was a lovely place to be stressed.
Yeah, it was, and they looked after us fantastically. I'm sure you guys saw the video.
Wonderful.
We then continued around the coast and we got to Kash. Now, if you saw that video, the streets were quite thin. There was cars parked either side of the road and I got stuck. I had to reverse the van, if you saw that video, right the way down the road with mopeds coming and cutting in front of me and everyone beeping. And it was probably the most stressful time of the whole trip in Kash. It was height of the summer. It was so busy. I just had the feeling when I took that road as well. But never mind. But I managed to get out of there. We did scratch the van a little bit as we were driving past bushes by the side of the road. But fortunately, when we got back, Richard from PP Protect came, gave the van a good old clean off, and he got all of the scratches out. So after driving this thing to Turkey and back, I picked up a few scar wounds along the way. So today I've brought it into work, and Richard and Connor from PP Protect are here to wave their magic and clean it all up and get the scar wounds out of it. And to help him with the job, we've got a brand new sponsor for the channel, Nilfisk. This is the Nilfisk Core 150. It's really powerful. It's got 150 bar of pressure, so it's good enough even to clean your patio. But what we're using it for today is wash the motorhome off. It's also very lightweight, and the handle folds away so you can easily get it in the motorhome garage. It's also got 3 power settings, so you can have it really powerful for doing your patio and then maybe turn it down a bit when you're washing your motorhome. So Rich, I've put a few marks on her.
Just a few. I expected more.
I mean, there's scratches going all the way down here. That was from when we were in the bushes at Kash. And up here, Rich, I've got some big ones here, mate. Reckon we get these out?
Blue bushes.
Right, blue bushes.
Blueberry bush. Hey. Yeah, we'll get them out.
And also, got scratches in the windows, as usual, Rich, going past bushes.
They'll come out.
Fantastic. So it's got the click and clean technology, Rich, easy enough to swap the heads.
Yep, so just a quick click.
Perfect.
Undo. Nice slot there to put that.
Perfect. And what have we got? Snow foam?
Snow foam.
Go for it. Do you know how to use that, Rich? Yeah. That is fantastic. About 10 seconds, that whole side covered. And now just put the brush end on. Perfect. Oh, how easy is that? They've also sent this telescopic roof cleaner. Look at that. Easy for getting into these hard places. Not even needing a ladder, eh, Rich? What was you saying about the hose, Rich?
10 metres, perfect length to get around the motorhome each side, so you're going to keep moving the jet wash all the time.
Right, and it's an ultra flex one, so it doesn't tangle too easy.
Nice and easy, look, moved around.
So a pressure washer this time of year is ideal for giving your camper van a darn good clean before packing it away for the winter or putting it in storage. Now we don't, we use ours all year round. Also, when spring comes, we get the jet wash out and give the driveway and the patio a darn good clean to bring it up like new. Right, whilst Rich is finishing off cleaning the motorhome, I just thought I'd summarise everything about this new gadget I got. 3 power level controls, so you can have it up really high to clean the patio, turn it down when you're cleaning the motorhome. You've got a metal pump and a metal motor as well for durability and longevity. Warranty on it is 2 years as standard. However, if you register it online, you'll get an extra 3 years, giving it a 5-year warranty. That's incredible. You can draw from the mains, a water butt or a water tank. So what's included in the box? You've got the pressure washer itself, and you've got the foam sprayer for cleaning the vehicle. You've got a gentle nozzle for vehicles, bikes and things like that. And then you've got the rough nozzle for your paving and your patio and stuff. So I want to thank Nilfisk for coming on board and supporting our travels and supporting the channel. So there's a link in the description below, and there's an exclusive discount for you as well. We have used Nilfisk for over 10 years now, so we're really proud they've come to support the channel and to support our travels and these videos that we bring to you. Now, of course, I was driving on the right-hand side of the road, Rich, so this is probably the worst side for scratches.
Yeah.
I can see some big ones up there. Oh, Rich, that's come up like new, mate. Thanks, buddy. All done? Yeah?
Easy, wasn't it?
Yeah. You've done a great job. Look at it. Look at that. New motorhome again. Look at that back. It looks like new. And that roof's come up like new. Look, fantastic. Right, ppprotect.co.uk. Phone number?
01283 342 123.
If you want your motorhome ceramic coated, give Rich a call. So I'm very grateful to Richard from PP Protect.
Thank you, Rich.
I'll put a link to him in the description, guys. The ceramic coating we got on this makes it much, much easier to get buffer all these scratches out. It really does. As we continued down the coast, we found a piece of paradise, didn't we? The Deniz restaurant on the beach. We parked there. It was very inexpensive, and they run the electric out for us so we can get the aircon running, and that was a great couple of days, wasn't it?
I think looking back, it was the cleanest water at the warmest temperature. That combination of the two was incredible.
That was the turkey we were looking for.
Yeah, it's so much fun bobbling around in the sea.
So after there, we continued around the coast, but it started getting busier and busier, and we went to Antalya, and we found our first municipal campsite of Turkey that we used.
And it was about a 15-minute ride into town, wasn't it? We had a great night out in Antalya. This place is awesome. It's so beautiful and so much going on. I love it.
Now, while we was in that area of Antalya, we wanted to go to Dekafok, and we wanted to see the turtle sanctuary that Chris and Marianne from Tread the Globe had helped fund and helped set up. So we did see that, and we saw the little turtles.
Yeah, we went to speak to the volunteers who showed us a couple of live nests, showed us the flapper pin. What's the word? The flipper prints in the sand.
There you go.
And told us a lot about the work that they do there.
Now, it was very, very busy. The campsites were full. We couldn't get in any campsites, not the municipal one, not any of the other ones. So we decided to camp on the beach, and that was our first mistake. We got moved on by the police at 11 o'clock at night. First time we've ever been moved on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. Usually we say follow your instincts, and we didn't at that time. We'd not seen the signs,
Right.
but we also had noticed that there were only one or two other vans there. So when you spoke to one of the van drivers...
I spoke to him, he said, no, it'd be fine, I've been here for a while. And sure enough, the police came and moved us on that night. But never mind, we found another stop a little way up the road. Lindsay had to drive the van that night because I'd had a glass of wine, and we were fine. But it was getting very busy. It was the height of the summer, so we decided, you know what, let's head inland now. And then we went to Konya.
Yeah, Konya, and we stayed in another municipal campsite. And at this one, we made friends with two different families, one from Turkey and one who are like the most European family you could ever meet.
And we meet up with them further in the trip.
They really helped shape the rest of the trip.
Yeah, we always say that, you know, we make plans, but we don't book anything, because when we meet people along the way, they do shape what we do. And when we left Konya, and then we headed further inland, we was heading to Cappadocia, and we stopped at Derinkiyu.
One of the things we didn't realise before we got there is that Cappadocia, this huge region, has got 36 underground cities. There are two major ones close to where we were, and actually one of the families had recommended that we go to Derinkiyu. It's 85 metres deep. There's a church carved into the stone at the bottom, and it was actually used by the early Christians to escape and hide from people coming in to invade.
Definitely worth a visit if you go in that region.
Yeah, we loved playing hide and seek with the kids.
All right, and then we went on to Göreme, and we found a great campsite just outside town, which had a fabulous pool, great pictures, and a fantastic view. We was up at 4 o'clock in the morning watching the balloons taking off, wasn't we?
Yeah, it's built into the side of the mountain, and if you get up early enough in the morning, you can see the balloons rising from one side, and they come across, and they're so silent apart from the odd blast from the furnaces underneath, and they come across, and then all of a sudden you'll start hearing cheers from across the valley, and these are miles away. There's so many of them, and that's the cheers as they're landing safely on the ground. And it's incredible.
I could see Lindsay really wanted to go up into a hot air balloon ride. Anyway, we went out into town that night, and I managed to secure us a flight the very next morning. So we was up at the crack of dawn, way before the sun, picked up by the minibus, and taken in the dark to a huge hot air balloon. I've just got goosebumps just thinking about it. We had one of the most fabulous times we've ever had as a family, didn't we?
Really freaking emotional. Flying in a hot air balloon isn't like flying, it's more like floating. It's silent apart from the odd blast, and we were coming down low, and we could see people in their gardens, and then we go up really high and see the whole volcanic landscape and the houses carved into the rock and a fairy chimneys.
You could see Lindsay's face. It was just an absolute picture. And some of you could actually comment about it. Actually, nearly brought you to tears. It was amazing. If you come to Cappadocia, you must do a hot air balloon ride. And it even trumped our helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon. So it's the best thing we've ever done as a family. So if you ever go to that area, we highly recommend hot air balloon over Goreme.
If going up in a hot air balloon isn't for you, and I completely get that, there is a castle or a fort that's carved out of the rocks called Ujisar or Goreme. Either of those you'll find it. If you climb to the top of that, you can see out across the volcanic landscape. So you kind of get the same views without having to let your feet come off the ground.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Now, we're as deep into Turkey as we wanted to go. We got a long way to get back. So we decided to start making our way back. We were going to do Istanbul on the way back. But first off, we stopped at Ankara, which is the capital city of Turkey.
Yep, a campsite. It seemed like quite a basic, not very good one looking at the reviews that we read. But actually it was a hotel, and it was quite a dated hotel. Really interesting place. Yeah. And out the back they had a campsite and a fantastic pool. We had a great time staying there. And it was about a 20-30 minute
taxi ride
right into the centre of town, where we met up with our friends, the Turkish family.
We then continued on to Istanbul, where we do like free walking tours, and Lindsay found us a free walking tour in Istanbul. So we did the Blue Mosque, and we did Galata Tower, and
he took us everywhere. We saw a lot of the sites. He showed us the best place to buy Turkish delight. We saw the Sultan's Palace. We spent hours walking around the city. And the thing about a free walking tour is the guides are fantastic because they earn their money through tips. We've always found fantastic free walking tour guides.
Now also, when I was in Istanbul, was in another city campsite, and you do make friends. You're in close together, and Harry made friends with these Italian boys. And we did book 2 days there, and then he said, can we stay for another day? And we had a couple of days in the bank. I said, of course we can. So we stayed actually 3 more days in Istanbul, and Harry was playing football till like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was lovely.
Yeah, the great thing about that location is everywhere on the western part of the European side of Istanbul was walkable. We didn't venture over into the Asian part because Istanbul is actually a city on 2 continents with the Bosphorus Straits going between it. We stayed very much with the European side for this trip, but that just means we've got the Asian side to do in the future.
We've got to go back and do even more. Istanbul was, all of us agreed, our new favourite city. Love it. Now, we wanted to make it to Poland on the way back, and we had to get back up through Europe. So we had quite a few countries yet to go through, and this is the route we was going to take through Serbia. Now, fortunately, we were insured with sterling insurance for not just the Turkey side of things. They also did extra insurance for us in Serbia and what have you. If you don't know who Sterling Insurance are, they're a huge organisation, and they offer not just vehicle insurance as well. We're going to put a link down to them in the description, guys. But if your insurance is due for renewal, give them a call, try them out, use our link down below, and see if they can get a better quote for you. They're fantastic, aren't they?
Sterling have been brilliant. They've insured it fully comprehensive in places like Turkey, Albania, Serbia,
Morocco,
Montenegro, and we've just found they've been brilliant.
So yes, we've been with them now for a couple of years. Fantastic. If your insurance is due for renewal, or just get a quote anyway to see what it's going to be like. But yeah, they do cover you in these extra places that other people don't. Now, next, Lynn's found a fantastic stop in Bulgaria with a water park. It was the closest thing to an all-inclusive that I think we have found, isn't it?
Yeah, my new favourite water parks, now that the kids are getting a little bit older, are not based on slides. They're based on thermal spas.
Next up was Serbia. Getting into Serbia at the border crossing took a couple of hours, and we wanted to get to Belgrade, where Lindsay had earmarked a free walking tour with a difference.
Yeah, well, everyone that we'd spoken to about Serbia had gone, oh, it's really beautiful. Oh, yeah, you have to go to Belgrade. And when I was doing my research, I did find a free walking tour, but actually it was all on electric scooters. So we got to see a lot more of the city. We paid to hire the scooters at the start, and then we paid our guide
tips
at the end. Yeah.
Boys enjoyed that one. They really did. And it was about 3.5 hours, so definitely recommend that if you you ever go to Belgrade. And then we endured a 9-hour border crossing to get out of Serbia, because it appears that many Serbs live in Europe, come back to their home country in the summer to visit all their relatives. So then when they're leaving to go back into Europe again, the borders get very, very busy. Now, we'd never been to Poland before, and Poland was high up on the list, but since we were doing a couple of days of solid driving, we got a bit of a water park, another thermal spa for a couple of days.
Warm water, cold cocktails, always a winner.
And after 2 days there, we then headed to Krakow, where we did a free walking tour of the Jewish area, I believe, didn't we?
We did, and it was based entirely on World War II and the Jewish ghettos.
Next, Auschwitz was high on our list of places we wanted to visit. I know many of you have been in the comments and said you'd visited Auschwitz. It was a very difficult vlog to make, I must say, and I hope we did it the respect that it was due.
If you're considering going there and you've got small children, I would either wait till they're over 14 years old, because there are two ways to get into and visit Auschwitz. The one is to go for free after 4:30. The way we chose was to go in earlier in the day and pay for a guide to take us round. And as part of the guide's service, you get a headset. And as you're walking around, she's got a low voice. She will very respectfully and slowly tell you the stories and explain what you're seeing and what the significance is. Because George is only 12, they strongly recommended that he didn't have a headset, and that encouraged us to kind of filter through what we're hearing and share it in an age appropriate way. So I think we all got exactly what we needed to from that.
Then we had trouble with the van. Yeah, if you'll remember, the front battery went flat, and we was able to get it started by switching the solar power from the rear batteries to the front battery, but that was getting worse and worse. And I know a lot of you were in the comments saying, oh, it must be your alternator, it could be that, it could be this. We just needed a new battery, wasn't it?
And everyone who said, yeah, you should carry a jump pack with you. Yeah, we know. We have one. It's just at home. Well, it's actually in the office.
It was in the office. I've had a jump pack for ages. But since we've been back, in fact, Richard has given us one of these Rex Nordic ones. These are fantastic. If you don't want one of these, you did say, oh, you can go and buy one at the garages, but they were the big, ugly ones, and they were really, really expensive. So I got this one here from Rich, and it comes with these little leads here. You plug these in, and it'll charge on USB-C as well. In fact, you can use this as an extra battery pack to charge your phones as well. So this is brilliant. Thank you, Richard, PP Protect, for giving me this.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. Got a built-in torch and everything like that now. So if we do get stuck again, we've got this to hand. I'll put a link in the description, guys, but everyone should have one of these lying around in their van for such situations that we were in.
I can't get over how small
it's
that
tiny,
is.
isn't
The
it?
ones we were looking at in the service station.
They were massive, and they were too expensive. They were overpriced as well. Next, we stopped off at Krakow, and we went out into town. What a beautiful city it was.
It is one of the prettiest cities I've ever seen, and the gnomes just crack me up. There are little brass gnomes all over the city, and they're just fantastic. They're hilarious.
And we enjoyed pierogi. We wanted to enjoy... You know what? Food, as we go around all these places, is a huge part of travel for us. We like to enjoy the local cuisines, and pierogi was high on the list for Harry.
Yeah, we were celebrating Harry getting into sixth form and all his GCSE results, and we gave him a choice of what he wanted, and we went down and hunted. We hunted pierogi.
And we found the best pierogi restaurant in the city.
From Poland, we were moving across to Germany, and we were really surprised that when we were looking at the maps, that there was actually a border crossing and a delay at the border crossing. We'd not expected that because both countries are part of the EU. So I did a little bit of research and discovered actually Germany has reinstated some of its borders with places like Austria, Switzerland, Poland. And this is because of the amount of illegal migrants that are coming across into Germany. So it's just one of those things to be aware of. In the end, because we were so worried about stopping the van.
Right, clutch control, doing in a queue for half an hour, I thought I might stall the engine.
Yeah, we found just an unmarked crossing, a very thin road that went through a tiny village, and there was nothing to stop anybody. I don't know why everyone was keen to go through the main one.
Straight into Germany. You found that interesting, some of you in the comments, isn't it? So there you go. Definitely do the smaller border crossings. So I got us to the service station where I knew there'd be plenty of people to help us around, made sure I had some jump leads, switched off the engine, and then it weren't going to start again with the solar. It was really struggling. The battery was kaput, but we couldn't get one. It was Sunday. Everything was closed. We were let down by the recovery company, unfortunately. unfortunately, but I found a guy, a van driver there, just jumped us the next day and got us started. And then we was able to go and find a new battery and find a garage to fit it for us. And then we went to Berlin. We found a park up in the centre of Berlin that we wanted to do last time we were there, but that was full, and that was a great place, wasn't it?
It was. It was fantastic. It was actually somewhere that we've not managed to get in before, even though we've tried. We've parked in the past in front of the Brandenburg Gate, but we actually wanted to be there for a couple of nights, so we wanted a nice, safe campsite.
So definitely we recommend that one if you were doing Berlin. We've done Berlin last year, we've done it this year. We do love Berlin. Then we did one more stop off at Hanover where we used the pool, and then it was on to Caravan Salon in Dusseldorf, which of course was last week's video.
I think I need to take a moment and let everybody know we are not planning to change our van. This van is perfect for how we travel in Europe right now. However, I love to dream and I love to have a little bit of a mooch around, and who doesn't love looking around new motorhomes?
Absolutely. Right, let's take a look at the mileage. Now, I was gutted when the battery went and it reset the trip counter, as I'm sure some of you were as well. But I remembered in the first video I mentioned the mileage. So I went back to have a look. Mileage on the vehicle right now, 20,042 miles. The ending mileage was 27,698 miles. So the total trip we did, 7,656 miles. To go down to Turkey, round Turkey and back again. So just under 8,000 miles. There it is. So how much did the trip cost? A lot of you have asking that. We haven't got a total number for the trip, but you know what? We've always put the figures of the campsites in there, how much it costs us to fill up. Often if we'll go out and we'll spend, we'll put it all in the videos, but I don't have a total cost for you of the whole trip. And our costs are going to be different than what maybe yours are going to be.
And also, they're going to be irrelevant 2 or 3 weeks after we've been through because of exchange rate fluctuations, the time, the cost of living, the price that we just share the price in the moment.
So how does Turkey compare to Morocco?
Ooh, do you have a favourite?
You know what? Well, I always say it's like choosing a favourite child. When people ask, what's our favourite place? What's favourite? You know what? Travel is, we just love everywhere, don't we? But we'll give you as much of a comparison as we can. Firstly, it's much easier to get to Morocco. We literally took a 24-hour ferry down to Spain, and then we spent 2 days driving down Spain, which you could actually drive it in 1 day if you wanted, and then a short ferry across to Morocco. So Morocco is much quicker to get to than Turkey. It's a heck of a drive to get down to Turkey. And we're only able to travel during the school holidays with the kids, right? So it was brilliant that actually Lynn's had that great idea that me and Ed could leave 3 weeks before them to get the van down there. Literally do 4 weeks around Turkey and then 2 weeks to come back, taking in Poland and places along the way. But driving 7,600 miles in 9.5 weeks was a lot. But to drive 7,600 miles in 6 weeks would not be fun. I wouldn't want to do that. That would be too much driving for that. No. Now, they're both Muslim countries, right? So food, for instance, food was much more freely available in Turkey. If you wanted to get some food, get a kebab, get some fast food, you could get it anywhere, right? In Morocco, you had to plan ahead. Yeah,
Turkey feels a lot more westernized. It feels a lot more familiar. We've got as many mosques in Turkey as we do in Morocco, but it feels more westernized and more open.
Definitely does. Yes, if you want a tagine, you want to plan ahead and let them know an hour time you can get your tagine with them. That's one. Alcohol as well. Much more freely available in Turkey than in Morocco. I know I had to drive for like half an hour to find an off license in Morocco there. So yeah, you can get alcohol much more freely, although it is still expensive in both countries. It's not cheap. Clearly there's a lot of tax on it. Now, the people in both Turkey and Morocco were beautiful.
We love them.
Absolutely. Very, very friendly. Very friendly indeed. So 10 out of 10 for the people in both places there. Roads. Some of the, you know what's in Morocco, it had some of the best, the motorways were great, weren't
There's been a lot of investment in the infrastructure around Morocco and getting from town to town.
Yeah.
But then when you came off the main roads, they were more hard going than the hardest going roads in Turkey.
You know what, in both countries as well, when they're doing roadworks, you just drive over the roadworks that they're making, and so that was a little bit challenging. We thought we were in Turkey, thought we were driving through a quarry one time, didn't we? So yeah, the roads can be interesting, but motorways on both of these, fantastic.
Yeah.
But the driving, Turkish driving was just manic. It was mad, especially driving through Istanbul. It was the craziest city I'd ever driven through. But I get it. And everyone cuts in. And everyone goes beep, beep, and cuts in. In this country, if you cut in, people will beat the horn. You'll start shouting at you. There'll be the road rage. No, not in Turkey. It's the opposite. Yeah. Everyone cuts in. And the beep of the horn is to warn you that they're about to cut in. Therefore, it's much more forgiven, isn't it? And you know what, it works as well. I kind of got it, that way of driving. And in the end, I was cutting in as well.
Campsites was a big difference between the two different countries. We found that there were probably more options for motorhomes over in Morocco. There's more of a culture of, as people, especially from France, have been travelling to Morocco for the winter months for a long time. So a lot of hotels have campsites attached. You're never that far from a campsite or somewhere safe to park up.
However, in the summer, many of them are closed, or we were the only peoples on there. So it was very much different in Morocco. It was hotter in Morocco, I'd say.
Yes.
And many campsites were empty or closed. But in Turkey, although the weather was beautiful still, but the campsites were full during the summer.
One of the biggest questions that came up at the NEC and also in the comments is, did we feel safe?
Absolutely, we felt safe in both countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We stood out like a sore thumb, especially in Morocco.
Yeah.
Not just the motorhome, Westerners walking around with a bloody big camera. And everyone's staring at you. Yeah. So, you feel safe because everyone's staring at you. And would we go back? Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
I know. In a winter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be better to go in off-season, wouldn't it? Yeah. I think it won't be as busy, won't be as hot. Maybe we can do a lot more wild camping where we don't need the aircon and what have you and run in for that. So, yeah.
October to April, May seems like a good time to go to me.
So what's next for the Roman Radfords? That's another one that you keep asking me. What's next for the Roman Radfords? Well, America.
Yeah, we're going to America.
That's the plan anyway. We are hoping to fly out there, buy an RV and keep it out there. Okay, and then we can
want a vehicle with all our stuff in.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. Rather than going and renting one. Then we could fly out there maybe 3 or 4 times a year, maybe for Christmas, Easter, the summer, and do some road trips in America. But also then we got the option then to go to Canada and possibly to Mexico in our own RV.
I feel like we've ticked almost as if it's a tick list. We've been to a lot of countries in Europe, Western and Eastern more so now as well. We're excited to go somewhere completely different and explore a different culture. Yeah.
So there you go. We're going to plan on ticking off all the states in America. So if that's your kind of thing, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Because I think we're going to... The current plan is to fly out there in January. Yeah. Possibly go to the Tampa RV show and have a look around some then and possibly buy one over there then.
That's about plan J, I think. We keep making lots of different plans. I can't wait.
Right. And, and how are we going to do this and how are we going to ensure it and where we're going to keep it? We haven't got a clue. We're going to work it all out and we're going to share it with you on this channel.